No, you're supposed to go like this. Stick them up.
Yeah. No, wait, this way.
Was trying to make, of course, Facebook won't get any of that. It'll just get this.
Right.
Okay, reload. Where's our live? The phone said it's live. YouTube says it's live. There it is. Yep, totally missed the silliness.
Oh, well.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Share as me. Come on. Why can't I type in the little box? I'm saying share. Try that again.
Oh, you type something in there? I just hit share.
Share. Fine. Share now. Figure out what's wrong later.
You probably have the same situation, but like on your birthday on Facebook, I started getting happy birthday, and they did better. Facebook's done better where they kind of compress a lot of them and like group them together, so they're not spread out everywhere. But I'm still finding places where people wished me happy birthday, not just on Facebook. LinkedIn, I didn't even think about LinkedIn. I got some through Facebook Messenger, which those are easy enough to see. Somewhere
Did you
else.
get my text with the video?
Excuse me?
Did you get my text with the video?
With the video? No, I don't think
I sent it Sunday morning. I sent a video. We had a karaoke party Saturday night, and everybody sang you happy birthday.
Oh, no, I did not.
You better go back in your history and get that.
There it is. It's all right.
You're welcome. Wow, we know who's loved around here.
See what I'm saying? There you go. Who all's there? Anybody I know? Nice.
That was the edited version.
What was in there that needed to be?
You want to hear the unedited version?
Is it okay to play here?
Yeah.
All right. That was nice. Thank you. I did not see that.
Photos, videos. All right. Here's the full length one. See if we can hear this thing.
Yes. So we are going to sing happy birthday to Craig. Are you rolling? I'm rolling. All right. That would be awesome.
Evo's there.
Oh.
Tim is there. So I brought the song up. So and Evo goes, yeah.
Craig. With a K. It's spelled with a K, but you can sing it any way you like.
That's true.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
And Evo jumps right in the front of the camera.
Happy birthday to you.
That's awesome.
I forgot to turn the ukulele on to the studio.
What'd you say?
I forgot to turn the ukulele on.
Oh.
It wasn't coming through the mixer.
That's
so
funny.
do it again. And then you get the part you got. All right. See what fun you get when you join us for a live show on the videos of the pre-show.
Yeah. I was just thinking, see, the problem is yesterday. Oh, you sent it yesterday? Oh, at 12 in the morning. I was in the bed. Then I don't know why I didn't.
What? No. What time did you get it?
It says yesterday, which had been Sunday, at 12:18 a.m.
No, I didn't send it at 10 p.m. I sent it like a Sunday midnight or Sunday morning. Where is it?
Huh. Because then you texted me at 9 a.m. and said, should I?
Friday. Oh, I guess it was 10:17 p.m. Okay. You didn't read it when you woke up in the morning? You don't check your
I didn't
text
see it.
messages?
I do, but I didn't see it. I swear to God, I didn't see it. I do
Okay.
look at all that stuff.
Yeah, you probably just go swipe, swipe, swipe. Whatever happens overnight
Well,
is too bad.
well, um, honestly, I was out with the family Saturday evening, so I was trying not to really mess with the phone too much, just to hang out with them.
And drinking.
Yeah, a little bit.
Family's more tolerable when you're drunk. Is that what you're saying?
No, but I could imagine somebody would think that. Not my family, but in general.
So much for your dry January.
Hey, I've actually done pretty good. I didn't throughout the weeks in January, I didn't drink at
No.
all. I only had a couple of drinks on Friday and or Saturday. So I've actually done pretty good this month. And I was lucky my birthday landed on Saturday. So my going forward for anybody that listens and watches this, I was trying to slow down drinking as much as I had been. Not that I really felt like I had a problem with it. I was trying to make sure I don't have a problem with it. So I would stop throughout the week, and I figured Fridays and Saturdays, I could have be open to something, or if it was a special occasion like somebody's birthday where we're going out or something, or whatever, Christmas party. But so I didn't want to limit myself too much, but at the same time, I wanted to cut back during the week.
It's your birthday. You
Yeah,
deserve
it
to
was my birthday.
celebrate then.
Hmm.
All right, now nothing till the cruise.
Nothing till the cruise.
It's only a
Okay.
couple of weeks. Jeez.
I know. Yeah,
It's a year away.
yeah, that's fine.
All right.
All right, so I'll remember. Don't drunk text Chuck, so he'll think I didn't drink all. Yeah.
I got my 1 week chip. Oh, there it's up.
Actually,
Ready to begin?
yeah, that's all right. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. All right. We're hitting the audio recording in 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 764. Things that make us go, huh? Hello and welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the show. If you are a returning guest, welcome back. We appreciate you giving us your time. My name is Chuck Tomasi from Phoenix, Arizona, and right over there is Craig Stepp from North Carolina. It's taking me a while to still adjust to saying North Carolina now.
I will accept both answers. I was originally from South Carolina.
Oh, we have a birthday in the birthday calendar that goes something like that, where people move around.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you give
that's
this
right.
list of where they've been.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how you been, Craig? How was your week? You had a birthday. How was your birthday?
It was, well, largely uneventful, except for we went out to dinner and hung out with the family for a while. So yeah, it was really quiet. Didn't do much during the day, so just enjoyed it. And then, you know, I had my birthday, and then the next day I wasn't feeling well, and it didn't have to do with how much I drank on my birthday, but it was just how much I just didn't feel right. And then on top of that, my I know this sounds like a bunch of old men complaining about everything, but I was having an issue with my foot. I was like, man, I turned 56 and everything's just the wheels are coming off the cart.
That pretty much happens all through the 50s, I'm sure. And the 60s probably aren't going to be any better. I'll let you know in a few weeks when I get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you wake up with a new ache and pain. And I don't know about you, but it's like, oh, my ankle hurts. A couple days later, my ankle still hurts. Should I see the doctor? And then most of the time it goes away. We're like, what was that all about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I had a little tendonitis on the top of my foot, and it's super painful. It was killing me. So this last week has been horrible. I haven't been able to go walking or anything. Yeah, I try to get the dogs out, and I'm like, y'all just kind of do your thing near me,
Let me know if you need to borrow the boot, the knee scooter, or the crutches.
This last week, I probably could have used any of them.
Hey, I could bring them on the cruise and then I could get like first seating.
Yeah. Oh, sir, come on. Yeah.
Does anybody need
Come on
an extra? You get done, chuck them to the side and go, I'm going on a cruise.
Hey, bring all three of those things. And, between my wife and myself and you and Donna, three out of the four can have a
The fourth one can assist.
put a little red cross on.
Just keep trading them up. Were you wearing the boot yesterday?
Are you cosplaying Nurse Chapel?
We're cosplaying something.
Yeah.
Cosplaying something. Alrighty, let's get on with the feedback. We asked a question of the week last week.
I've not looked at these yet.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters.
That's pretty much standard for the show notes.
Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters. I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
Our question of the week last time was complete this sentence. It's Technorama. Of course they blank. This kind of
We got
sounds like
some. We got some good ones.
match game show. Gary Lindro says, of course they know how to use punch cards to program. Well, one of us does.
Yeah, Gary Lindros also said they are still putting out new shows. There you go.
That's debatable. The
That's
same.
because nobody told us when to stop.
It's like Taco Bell. It's the same 6 ingredients, just mixed different ways.
That's right.
Surprise! We've got the new Fundita.
Well, as they say, podcasting is not under corporate control, so nobody was there to cancel us.
We've been culture canceled.
Maybe.
Lone Guys Night says, of course they landed on Mars.
Yeah.
Should we get
did.
the sad trombone?
Yeah. Jack Mangan says we are fluent in over 6 million forms of communication.
Including the language of moisture evaporators.
That's right.
Binary language of moisture evaporators.
Watch out. We're coming to take C-3PO's AI, his job.
I think I'll pass. He's a little too neurotic for me.
Yo, really?
Steve London says, it's Technorama. Of course they don't butcher any names of famous scientists or historically important people in the Remember When section. Yes! Nailed it.
Right. That's right. So Fritz Ulrich Seward says, using the word suggestion feature on my smartphone, it came up with this. I kid you not. It's Technorama. Of course, they have the best music and the most beautiful people on the show. Okay, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Of course, that was written by AI.
Yeah, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
He's just punching that next word feature on the phone.
Mm-hmm. I've done that a few times.
Mike Robinson says, of course they're in contact with a special scientific cabal that are plotting ways to save the planet from the evil entities.
Let's see what else we got. Mike Robinson says they are exploring how to resurrect a species of megalodon with friggin' lasers on their heads.
Oh man, there's a whole bunch more here. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike and Fritz kind of got into it here. Fritz says, of course they have fans all around the world. True statement.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Robinson also says, are trained in the art of subliminal yodeling. Well, I was so subliminal. It's so subliminal. I didn't know it.
Telepathic yodeling. Here we go.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike also says, of course, they're sending secret messages to, quote, the lizard people by mispronouncing the names of science figures.
Yeah, it's secret code. And he also says, to continue, are looking for the infinity pieces in their bowls of oat loops. Okay.
I just had a whole new meaning to Lucky Charms. Just stick them to your glove.
They're always trying to steal me Lucky Charms.
Yeah, lick them and stick them and go, I'm Thanos.
Right. Lisa Soros says, speaking binary.
Of course they speak in binary. 101 every show.
That's right. The very end.
Oh, let's see. We shared it a couple times. Let's see what responses we got out of that. We have, come on, show it. Show it. Show it. Show it. Of course they beat the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, it took us 3 times to get there, but we did it.
Did you have any responses on your share?
No.
No. Okay, I'll give one more. It's from my brother. He says,
Mhm.
of course they have a question of the week.
True.
Now,
True
when I
statement.
reposted this, I said, of course we're going to ask a question of the week. And I said, too obvious? So what does my brother do? Says the same thing. And then my sister replied to that, no, it should be obvious that you give us the question. Like, oh, snap.
I see what we got going on here. You must be blackmailing your siblings to comment on our posts.
Nope, not in the least. All right. And we have a couple from Mad Marv. He wrote his in instead of
Oh,
posting
yeah.
on social media. He had an email. Of course, they bring up the rear end of the Dragon Con parade.
Yep.
Emphasis on the rear end.
Yes, that's right.
And they say, of course, they only do binary high fives.
Yeah, we don't do regular ones.
101. You could do it with your index finger.
Your index finger.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody who did that for us. We will have another question for you at the end of the week, at the
Yeah.
excuse me, at the end of the show. So let's get out of here and do the history thing. Why is the music so low? There we go. Bring it up. There we are. History time.
All right.
On this day in history for January 29, 2025, it's the 29th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are just 336 days remaining. Oh,
Whoa. Better get my shopping in.
It was on this date in 1845 that The Raven was published in the Evening Mirror in New York. It was the first publication with the name of the author, Edgar Allan Peabody. No, Edgar
Peabody.
Allan Poe.
Actually, we went to a place for a drink after dinner called Edgar's the other night.
Edgar Allan Tinky Winky. No, it's
Well,
the
it
other
was-
Teletubby. Poe.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
The other Teletubby. Also today in 1886, Carl Benz patented the first successful gas-driven automobile.
Sounded like Speed Buggy.
That's right.
Happy birthday goes out on this day to Swedish astronomer, philosopher, and theologian. Sorry about this, Steve. It's Emanuel Swedenborg.
Yeah.
Born on this date in 1688.
And Ernst Krummer, the Polish-German mathematician and academic, was born 215 years ago today.
And I get January 29th, 1846, Polish chemist and mathematician and physicist. You can't do better trifecta than that. Karl Olszewski.
There you go.
Trust me on that one. I've
Yeah,
worked on my
trust you.
Polish.
Right. Richard Armin Gregory, the British astronomer, was born 161 years ago today.
American actor, comedian, and screenwriter W.C. Fields was born on this day 145 years ago today. Where there's a will, prosperity is just around the corner.
Carl Freudenberg, German chemist, was born on the same date in 1886.
English mathematician and geophysicist Sidney Chapman was born 137 years ago today.
And Alan B. Dumont, the American engineer and broadcaster, founded the Dumont Television Network, which we watch all the time.
I subscribe to it. I'm giving them money every month.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, their streaming service.
I'll tell you about the Dumont Television Network as soon as we're done with this segment.
All right. He was born 124 years ago today.
Abdus Salam, the Pakistani-British physicist and academic Nobel Prize laureate, was born on the same date in 1926.
And Joseph Kruskal, the American mathematician and computer scientist, was born 97 years ago today.
Also turning 80 today. Let that sink in. 80. American actor and businessman Tom Selleck.
You mean, no way.
Drew Barrymore was on this month's cover of AARP magazine.
I'll still see her with the little stuffed animals in E.T.
Yes, exactly.
Also born on that same date in 1954, American talk show host, actress, and producer, founded Harpo Productions, Oprah Winfrey.
That's an anagram, Harpo, Oprah. American engineer and
is.
astronaut Christina Koch was born on this date in 1979. Listener birthdays this month. Well, there's one left. 29 to Sarah P. from NJ, who was born in OK, moved to VA, married Brad B., who moved to NJ and now is back in VA. Get all that? You need a flow chart. February 1st has 2 birthdays. Matt Baum, a.k.a. Racer X from Pittsburgh, PA. From Kirkwald, Minnesota, Brandon is also on the 1st. 3 birthdays. 1, 2, 3 lovely birthdays on February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Gary Lindros, Chuck Provenzano, and Oreo Cookie Monster. Cookie. Ewan Campbell McGregor from Scotland is on the 3rd, and that rounds out our listener birthdays. If you want to be one of these listener birthdays, or if you think you can buy a listener birthday, you can go over to chuckchat.com/birthday, put your name on the calendar. We'll give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year. And if it's your birthday and you're not on that calendar yet being the optimistic word, if you're not on the calendar, happy birthday to you anyway. We wish you all the best. Hope you have a good week with family and friends. Where do we go with this? Tell me, oh music master. Yeah, I don't think we're done yet. We did. No, we'll just fade them out. Bye.
Yeah, get out of here.
Okay, the Dumont Television Network started in the early 40s, the early 1940s. And they had a handful of television stations. And it was about that time that the FCC got involved and kind of cut them off at the knees. They ran for about 15, 20 years and then just folded because they couldn't grow anymore, leaving the big three, ABC, CBS, and NBC, until Fox came along in 1986. So for about 30 years, we just had those 3 networks. Some of the Dumont content can be found on, I believe it's Pluto.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And they had shows like Your Cavalcade of Stars. I've heard of some of these. They also had one that actually still lives on. I can't remember what it was, but I think they brought us like the Oscars was originally on Dumont. Anyway. Yeah, fun stuff. I like clicking through some of these. That history segment is normally only supposed to take me 10 minutes, but I go down a lot of rabbit trails like, that's fascinating. Must read about this. And then you get into Wikipedia click hell.
Well, sometimes you may not think about that stuff unless you're going through doing something like this. So, yeah, I mean, why not? So, that's pretty cool.
You learn something new, and it's not our fault.
Yeah, we tried.
Good news, everyone.
Well, the good news just keeps coming. I was unable to read this because it requires a New York Times subscription. So,
I was able to view it at one point.
No, it popped up this thing. It says, please sign up. And then I signed up, and it said, please subscribe to read any more.
Oh, here. Let me give you. Were you able to read it at all?
I'm not going to read it real time, but the premise is that this little mini moon that we've had for like, what is it? Could it be circling the Earth for a couple of years and then fly away? May actually be a piece of the real moon that has been trucking around for a while and finally got caught in Earth's gravity to do a few orbits and then take off. So fascinating stuff. I don't know the details of how they determined this.
Yeah. By the way, I did in our show notes, so anybody wants to go look, I did update the link to a CNN article that talks about it.
Aha. Well, you better change the end of the line. It still says New York Times.
Oh yeah, I'll remove that.
We also found out that here, I'm going to read this before I read the headline. I'm going to read you the first part. It's from astronomy.com. On January 2nd, the Minor Planet Center at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysicists in Cambridge, Massachusetts, announced the discovery of an unusual asteroid designated 2018 CN41. First identified and submitted by a citizen scientist, the object's orbit was notable. It came less than 150,000 miles or 240,000 kilometers from Earth, closer than the orbit of the moon. That qualified it as a near-Earth object, or NEO, one worth monitoring for its potential to someday slam into the Earth. But less than 17 hours later, they retracted that. They found out
why, Chuck?
CN41 turned out to be a car. Yep. They spotted the Tesla Roadster that's been up there since 2018. Isn't that amazing how long it's been up there already?
I know.
February
I was
2018. I was thinking 2-3 years. What's it been?
when it went up. When it went up, I remember being so fascinated with the image, just thinking of they actually sent a car with the spaceman in it and everything, and I thought it was so cool. And then I went, "What? It's been up there that long?"
7 years. Yep.
I hope that when it comes close enough to Earth, they can actually let me get a picture of it somehow.
Well, this
Something-
article points out this is a problem, though, because all the low Earth orbit satellites and whatnot are they're cataloged. We know what they are. When you start getting further out, like into deep space, there's no cataloging system. So countries are just randomly sticking stuff out there, and it's getting confusing because, like this case shows, hey, we're looking for asteroids that could smash into the Earth, and we're finding things we already knew were up there. This is a waste of time. It's distorting the signal to noise ratio, to put a fine point on it, that we're going to be spending time. Look over there. Look over there. What is it? What is it? Oh, it's a car. Meanwhile, over on the other side,
Oh, it's a car.
yeah. I came for the dinosaurs. I'm coming for you.
Yeah. Why don't they have like a unified database like
For the deep
internet
space,
domain system?
it's probably coming based on stories like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If we can figure out time zones and area codes, we can figure out space.
You know, I swear, just thinking back on it, when that thing launched and then the cap opened up off the top of the launcher, and there's the Tesla Roadster with the spaceman. I was thinking, I just
What
thought
would you
that was
expect
so
to
awesome.
see? It's like, here comes another communication satellite or something. It's a car.
Yeah, well, I remember Elon saying, well, we just, in the past they've sent up concrete blocks,
Mhm.
as for tests. Why not send something interesting? And I was like, that's awesome. And you remember it had like the song Spaceman going, and it says "Don't panic" on the dash.
Starman,
Yeah, Starman. What'd I say?
Spaceman.
Oh, Starman. Excuse me. The song Starman. But the whole thing, I just thought it was really cool. At the time, I'd love to see what condition that thing is in.
I bet
At
it's
this
getting a
point.
pretty good beating.
Well, I remember them saying that the paint should be chipping off because being pitted by radiation, as well as I'm sure some space debris somewhere. So I don't know.
The mannequin's got a bullet hole through his forehead. Oh, sorry, that was a micrometeorite.
Right.
Sorry, micrometeor. And moving on to another story, we've got
A lot of space
private
tonight.
moon spacecraft just took a breathtaking snapshot of Earth, not your everyday blue marble. So I'm sure all the flat earthers will call this another CGI thing. But hey,
Right.
Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lander, a private spacecraft hired by NASA. There you go. It's hired by NASA, so it's got to be fake.
Hmm.
To
Exactly.
take experiments to the moon is flying laps around Earth right now as it gears up for its first attempt at a lunar touchdown. Blue Ghost captured the Earth image shown below, which will show on the screen for all those watching at home. Should have got this ready beforehand.
Yeah.
Share screen, entire screen. Choose a screen. Why is it not showing me any screens? There we go. They changed the way they do their screen share. Why isn't it not? Oh, share entire screen. Sorry, StreamYard just changed their whole UI and the way you share screens. So, originally scheduled to lift off in late 2024, it's the first NASA commercial lunar payload services mission of the year. Program has invested $2.6 billion in contracts with vendors from the private sector to help deliver instruments to the moon and send back crucial data.
You didn't say it right. Billion with the pinky and the.
Sorry, my hand was in my pocket. The lander
Okay.
is one of two spacecraft headed to the moon on SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket on January 15th. So hopefully maybe we'll get some cool new moon pictures. And
Hey, I see my house from here.
stop people from What are we looking at?
It looks like the edge of, I want to say Florida, but I don't know that that's right.
No, that looks like almost South America on its side.
Oh wait, maybe so. I
Oh,
see
there's
a
a
lot of
lot of
green.
clouds.
Hmm.
It's hard to
Yeah,
tell.
it's hard to tell.
Yeah, even worse to try and tell on the video stream. Here, let's zoom in. Now you can see your house. Ooh, let's
Yeah, there I am. You can open the window at this picture in a new tab, and it's much bigger.
zoom in. Still can't tell.
Yeah, that does look like South America right there.
Yeah, on its side, like the Andes are running horizontally, sort of.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's put that away.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm curious to see what kind of information that we get back from these moon landers. I'm
I
not
am
even sure.
too. I am
I'm
too.
not even sure what all they're supposed to do. Analyze the rock. Sure, that's an easy one.
I got a rock. Quick shout out to the chat room. Yes, we're at that point in the show already. We've got Mike hanging out. We recorded on a little different night. Craig said he wasn't feeling too well last night, so we didn't do our
Yeah.
Sunday night routine.
Sorry about
It
that.
is Monday, the 20, whatever it is. Is it the 28th today?
27th on
27th.
Monday.
See, I can't keep track of time either. It's 27th today as we record this. So we'll get our Patreon show out ASAP. And then Wednesday, we'll release on the 29th the audio program. But if you happen to be here on Sunday nights, we'd love to hear from you. We're going to have a
Yeah.
bit of a hit and miss schedule for the next few weeks due to vacations and whatnot. But we'll do our best. Just keep your eye on our YouTube channel or subscribe and get those notifications, or go to Facebook and get those notifications. And you'll be, like my phone, it goes bloop. Hey, Technorama's on. Let's go watch. Come on, kids, bring the whole family. Technorama's generally family friendly.
I can't pull it up at the moment, but I was wondering how many we've been doing videos for a long time.
About 2011, I think, is when we started doing those.
Yeah, your daughter was in those. I watched a couple old ones that we've aged well.
Says the old man who just had like a sore foot.
I know. Ugh. Actually, I might just go ahead and cut it off. Well, get some views.
I thought about it. But here we go. Back to the Remember When segment. So in Remember When, we've got some fossils in China that are bringing about some new facts that cause us to look at history. That's the cool thing about science is it's never very static for very long. Like this
Yeah.
idea, especially when it comes to the fossil record. I was just talking about this Saturday with my friend Scott. Like the whole theory of evolution and how things are connected is a theory based on assumptions, based on data points. And we don't have all the data points. There's a lot of gaps. So we're constantly revising where these data points are. And they found some, or this is there's a view of the landscape here. Let me show you the picture. It's kind of cool. Let's put that back up.
Oh yeah, the mountain.
Add to stage. Yeah. Lovely landscape. Looks like it's straight out of Arizona or Utah until you find the trees in the background.
It's your backyard.
Right. In Shujiao, I hope I said that even remotely close. My Chinese is the worst of my accent. In China, where 21 fossils were found in the 1970s, they're now believed to belong to a previously unknown human species, which they are calling Julu, which is short for, it was, what was it? Homo Julian fries or something. Their skulls are actually very, very large. Estimated cranial capacity of 1,700 to 1,800 cubic centimeters. This is from the book, The Paleoanthropology of Eastern Asia. We have a minimum capacity of 1,350 cc's on average, and we're about 1,400. Trying to find what that stands for. What was it? Homo. Come on, get the browser search over here. Homo sapiens. Homo juliensis. Juluensis. Juluensis.
Julian Sis.
So new branch of the family tree. Maybe they're the ones who come up with julienne fries.
Hey, look, There's something suspicious about that first picture, the one you were talking about with the little
What do you mean suspicious?
plateau. All right, I want you to zoom in.
Yes. You're talking about this like
Yeah,
gravestone over here?
it reminded me of the monolith from 2010.
It does look like a gravestone. I don't think this is
No, the monolith. You remember the
yeah, I
the
remember. And the
yeah,
monkeys, or the chimpanzees.
yeah.
The Simpsons made fun of that at one point too.
Oh, everybody has. I looked in and went, "Wait, what's that?" The monolith turned black from black to white and has been cut in half. It's been there for a while, I guess.
It's not that big though. There's something about this landscape that makes it look vast and, miles across, but then you look at the trees in the background going, "Nope." It's just like a washed out riverbank.
Hmm.
So, fun stuff. We're still learning, still discovering, lots
Yeah, they got a
left
lot
to
of pictures in this article about with the bones and everything too,
yes,
and the shape of the head, the skull.
bones and teeth and yeah, some scans of the parts and then they like assembled them back together in the computer.
Hmm.
Going back to space, NASA rovers find a breakthrough that supports the case that Mars could have supported life. What they found was 3.7 billion-year-old rocks that showed like ripples in the sand that said, "Hey,
Hmm.
there was definitely water here." And based on that, it says the team estimates that. Let me back up a little bit. Study by scientists at Caltech discusses the discovery of ancient wave ripples on the Mars surface. First found by Curiosity rover in 2022, scientists say that these ripples are undulations in the sandy shores of lake beds created as wind-driven water laps back and forth. In other words, Mars had a warm body of water open to the air and not covered by ice, supporting the possibility that there was, in fact, life on Mars.
Hmm.
Team estimates that the ripples are 3.7 billion years old, indicating the Martian atmosphere and climate must have been warm and dense enough to support liquid water open to the air at the same time. So, the study led by Caltech professors John Grotzinger and Michael Lamb appears in the journal Science Advances. So now it's 1,000 times drier than any Earth desert. We're probably not going to see too much life there.
Right. That's interesting, though. It's hard to imagine that at some point the planet wasn't warm enough to support life and stuff, at least for a while. But of course, I think didn't the core kind of cool off and it caused the atmosphere to kind of just
That's
leave.
the theory
Yeah.
is it was too small to sustain um, a molten core and generate an electromagnetic field to block out the solar winds. And when the core shut down, so did the magnetism, and then solar winds just kind of took the atmosphere away.
Yeah. You really don't think about Mars being, at least I don't, being smaller than Earth, but it is.
Yes, it's quite smaller than Earth.
Yeah.
Venus is about the same size, but Mars quite smaller and
There
further
was
away.
there was another article I didn't put in here, but they were Mars. NASA has Mars is invading Venus. No, NASA had a plan to put in almost like a cloud city on Venus. And I remember reading about this when I was in like high school or around that time frame, and because the upper atmosphere is much more tolerable than below.
Mhm.
They got acid rain or whatever going on in at Venus, and it's hot down there. But
And
in the
high
upper,
pressure? It's
well,
like
yeah, above the clouds, it's much more tolerable, and you could put something there and actually observe the planet better.
just
So
don't put Lando in charge.
I know he'll just let the empire roll all over him. Ugh,
Pray I don't change the plan again.
yeah. So I just thought that was cool when I saw that article. I was like, whoa! I remember reading about that and was kind of fascinated by the idea of almost like a not hot air balloons, but a balloon cloud city above the clouds. And here it is. It showed back up. So they got a plan.
Sounds like
Like,
something you'd find off of um the Carl Sagan show. Then
Cosmos.
yes, Cosmos, and then Neil. I had the C right in my head. I'm going,
Yeah.
what's the name of the show? So yeah, you can take some nerd points off me for now.
Yeah. Give me your card. I'm gonna cut the corner off.
Nerd Alzheimer's sucks.
Right.
Can't remember your ASCII codes.
Right.
Okay, quick thank you to our patrons, the people who make this show possible, financially anyway. This show is brought to you by Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris Martinez, Chris MC, Dan D. Mancoyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, happy birthday, John Clifford, John Noble, Yorga Shrowen, Crazy Joe, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Brad Miller, Mike Wills, Saturday Morning Media, Steve Weshy, Steve Cody, Steve Therian, Steve Webb, Steve London, and Tim Cook. They have gone to patreon.com/Technorama podcast. And for as little as $1 a show, they make this possible. Now, I was just thinking we should probably, they also get like a postcard in the mail, a t-shirt, and blah, blah, blah. We should probably record an audio clip like Dave Slusher does and just play that every time so I don't have to read it.
Well, I was just thinking, if we can get 2 or 3 more rows in here of people, we should organize the Technorama Rama where we have a get together somewhere.
Well, if I record it, that means somebody's going to join or leave.
Oh, I see.
It's
And
sort
then-
of like when you document your software, it's like, they just changed it again.
And after a while, you have to add in a name, and you didn't have the right inflection as when you had this other. And Larry,
Right. Audio patch. You can always tell an audio patch.
yeah,
Yeah. I was sick the day I recorded that.
yeah,
Thank you, Mike Wills, Saturday Morning Media, Steven Weshy, Steve Cody.
right.
All right. If you want to get on that list again, patreon.com/Technorama podcast. We would really appreciate it. If you find this entertaining, educational, somewhat, whoops, I thought I hit stop on
Well,
the somewhat
we call-
distracting like I am.
Yeah, we call it best effort on our part, but
Hey, reach for the stars. At least you won't end up with a fistful of mud.
yeah.
Okay, time to talk about what we've been watching, reading, listening to, or creating. So why don't you go first?
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it because tomorrow we're recording the topic is Trek, and we're actually going to review Section 31. But Section 31 is the new Star Trek movie that came out on Paramount Plus as a streaming event, I think is what they called it.
Yep.
And some of it worked for me and some of it didn't. So it was kind of like, it's a little half and half. There was a lot of people that were hating on it online, and I'm not hating on it like that bad. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of in between. I need to watch it again. I've only seen it one time, but there was some good stuff in there. Couple of flashback sequence that filled in a couple blanks and things like that. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was okay.
I was a little surprised that it wasn't more prominent on Paramount's like menu where you select your videos.
Yeah.
I had to search. It's like, where is this thing? It wasn't. I went moving around the tiles and looking. I don't see it. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking for.
I think it offered it to me as soon as I opened it up.
Search it out. It's like SEC. It still didn't find it. T. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what were your thoughts? Your quick thoughts?
I overall enjoyed it. There were a couple parts, like many Star Trek shows, where the science kind of goes off the rails. You go, well, okay, I'll suspend disbelief for now.
Yeah.
It was the way that they had written the characters. I generally enjoyed them. I thought some were there for, I don't know, it just felt like filler. Like you could have made the movie without this particular character.
Yeah.
It almost felt like a trope in places. But yeah, generally I enjoyed it pretty much. We'll discuss more about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Also watched a couple things on Netflix, one called American Primeval, which is a story of the westward migration of people with the Shoshone Indians, the Mormons, and the U.S. Army are all in conflict with each other. And my apologies to Mormons. I don't know how accurate this is historically, but it really paints them in a bad light.
Oh,
Um,
really? Okay.
and within the major components of this conflict, there's also this woman from the East who's you find out later is wanted. She's traveling with her boy. Um, she's somehow killed a man and it wasn't her husband, but now she's trying to get out west to see her husband, and the story gets better from there. So it is rather violent. Donna would not watch this one with me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, as as a friend of mine reminded me, we had a mutual friend years ago. He used to say, "I like this show. There's no sex, no drugs, just good, clean violence."
Right. Yeah.
And that was true for the other one I watched last night and this morning called The Irishman. Long
Mhm.
movie.
Oh, yes, I've seen that. That's the one.
2018, 2019 with Robert De
Yeah.
Niro and Al Pacino
A
and
lot of
Joe
CG in it.
Pesci. A lot. What's that?
There's a lot of CG in it to make them look
Yes,
younger.
yes, de-aging and even
Mhm.
aging, I think, too. They kinda
Mhm.
took it both
Yeah.
directions. Um, Al Pacino plays Jimmy Hoffa, but it's not, like, centered around him. It's all about Robert De Niro's character, who is a house painter, which is
Mhm.
a euphemism for someone in a hired gun
Oh,
who
yeah.
literally paints your walls with your own blood, as he
Mhm.
shoots you in the head, your walls are painted, thanks. Uh And it gets interesting. It really does. The way they wove these threads together, and as they'd introduce, uh, characters on screen, they'd pop up this, like, placard in front of them, the caption, and it would say, "Fat Tony."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it takes place it's interesting because he starts him out in the nursing home, and then he has a flashback to, like, the road trip, and the road trip flashes back to when they met, and that flashes back for a bit to World War it's like, I've never seen so many flashbacks in my life. This is
Yeah.
like Inception in a movie, but
It's
it
exactly.
bounces around a little bit, uh, but it really, really interesting story
Mhm.
about, um, Frank what was his last name? Sheeran.
Mhm.
Frank Sheeran, and as they flash up these mobsters, and they have a lot of them because it's a lot about the mob with Jimmy Hoffa involved. They go through it kind of in a Forrest Gump-ish way. So you're there for the Kennedy assassination. You're there for some of these other things. And obviously Hoffa's disappearance. They
Mhm.
explain that, by the way. So hang on to it. But it is a
Yeah.
long movie. It's like three and a
Really.
half hours long.
Imma tell you, that was I think if I remember right, because 'cause it's been obviously a while since I've seen it. I think I watched it in 2 sessions because it was so long, and
It was.
when you get to a 3-hour movie, it's that's a chore. I mean, it's a haul sometimes, so you gotta keep it interesting. I
They
thought it
have
was
they
a
have great
I liked it.
performances.
Yeah, I
Great
think I remember
performances.
liking it,
Yeah,
just remember feeling it was just a little too long, but yeah.
yeah. Last one I saw is the beginning of a new series on YouTube TV called The Curious Case of, and they're
Mhm.
gonna have a series of these. I did not watch the first one. I watched the second one, The Curious Case of the Girl Who Died Twice.
Okay.
So it's a story about these three girls who are the daughters of this rather promiscuous dancer. She liked fooling around with different men, and at one point they went through all the lineage and parentage, um, and they were like given away to a foster family. But one of them wasn't all that good, and she was given back, like literally on the steps as they're walking up, going, says, "We'll keep those two, but you can have this one. She's not well behaved."
Mhm.
And one of them goes missing, and they
Hmm.
suspect she was killed, but then she turns up like 20 years later. But nobody's really convinced that it's her. Like, this doesn't feel right. And this woman's got multiple personality disorder and my sister never did. But you look at the picture and it kind of looks like her. So
Right.
they did a DNA test, and the DNA test came back and says, "Yep, it's your sister, but it may not be the missing sister." So mom and dad are still around, and they're being about to be put on trial for the murder of their daughter. So it's plausible that they found this other daughter because Miss Promiscuity had how many kids? We don't know. And she goes, "Hey, let's go get, that other one that I left in Phoenix. She's now the right age-ish." And say, "You tell him you're Mary so that we don't have to go to jail." So, lot of twists and turns in this thing. Really? Huh? What? This is and I think I heard what they were doing an audio interview with this woman. She eventually passed away, the one
Mhm.
that claimed to be the second one. That's why she
Right.
died twice, once as a child and once as an
I see.
adult. And they were interviewing and they played this audio tape, and she had this really interesting accent. It was kind of Southern, but she was missing some of the key Southern
Yeah.
notes. Like, when I would say, "I am here," you would say, "I'm here." Right? There's a different
Right.
way of saying that, and she would have everything right except for, like, the "I," and it would be like a Midwest "I." And the man even says, "That's a real interesting accent." Well, if you go back a few episodes from when this show was recorded, this podcast, not the television show. When you
Right.
go back from when this podcast was recorded, and listen to Grammar Girl, she's talking about, uh, like, forensic linguistics, and she calls out I'm pretty sure it's the same case because
Mhm.
that lady had the same inflections that were noted in that podcast. So if you wanna tie this into something recent, it's like, "Hey, I think this is the lady that Minions Ghost a guest, Ghost Minions Ghost." There's a band name for you.
Yeah.
Minions guest was just talking to, like, a week or 2 ago. So, yeah, I found it fascinating from that aspect. I get my fill of the true crime shows.
Like, when you used to pick on me for saying library.
It I couldn't imitate this lady's accent if I tried. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it
Hey,
was
by the way, the comedian I talked about him a couple weeks ago, Nate Bargatze. Have you ever seen him?
mm-mm.
He's from Tennessee, and he was on stage, and he said he was talking about going to community college, and he's taking a speech class, and he's like, "I don't know why they didn't fix some of the things I say." One of them was like, he says, like, when you say he's tried his hardest to say it right, motor oil, he says motor oil. There's no I, the way he says it. Motor oil or tinfoil, you know, things like that. And I was like, I kept hearing library, library in my head.
Well, who was it? Was it Richard Petty Senior
Mhm.
that used to drive a race car?
Oh,
He had a really interesting one.
he may yeah, I don't recall that right off the top of my head, but probably I wouldn't doubt it.
Alrighty. That takes care of what we've done there. We've got just a couple of things in the Geek Library to share with you.
The music.
Cue the music. I don't know why this is the Geek Library music. It just happened to be this way. I think I got that from Keith Lane, so we're just going to keep playing it.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, lots of documentary stuff in here. World War I propaganda stuff. What else did I have in here? The There's a one on the side
Wait a
check.
minute.
The time
World
that
War
was
One propaganda justified
a
as
slaughter.
slaughter.
Yes,
Wow,
I'm going to leave you with that title.
man.
That time a tsunami lasted 9 days.
9 days.
Yes. It's like, wait, did the earthquake last 9 days? Was the tsunami 9
Was it
days?
like a several of them over 9 days or like one?
Nope. It was just one. So what happened is it was kind of in this fjord like bay, and they had a massive landslide that pushed the wave, and it just kept bouncing from shore to shore for 9
Oh
days
my god.
at an interval of 87 seconds because these geologists were picking up this signal, like a seismic signal, every 87 to 90 seconds. Going, what is that? Well, there's this little
Oh
bay
my
up
gosh.
in Greenland, and they're detecting this in Madagascar or something. It was crazy. So fun stuff that can just wreck things.
It's
Um,
like it found its resonance frequency.
kind of.
Yeah.
The another one suggests that Earth at one time had a ring, like 500 million years ago. We just missed it. Just missed it by that much. And it may be responsible for shaping the way life evolved on the Earth.
Hmm.
Kind of
Okay.
fun. History of time in computers. And they start way back with like sundials and water clocks and things. And then they finally get to the computers at the end.
300 years before the man discovered the abacus.
And again, into the history and documentaries, there's a short video on why did the Anglo-Saxons migrate to Britain? Do you know where the Anglo-Saxons even came from?
Um,
I thought it was the
a
same
very
place as like the
a very
Normans.
white place in Europe, I guess, right?
The most of the I figured they either because I thought the like the Danes and the Vikings and whatnot they came from the east, and the Normans came from France. The Anglos, the Angles, the Saxons, and the what was the other one? Not the Utes. The there's another one that starts with J. They're all in that like Danish Denmark Peninsula area.
Mhm.
Like, wow, okay. Why would you come from? Why would you just
So,
randomly sail out
so I
into
was right. A very white part of
a very
Europe.
white part? Yeah.
Heck, that's funny. Yeah.
All right, that takes us to the end of the show. Our question of the week for you this time is, what's the most ridiculous tech-related purchase you've ever made? And yes, we have all had those impulse buys we regret.
I'll have an answer for you next week because I got to look through some stuff. I think
Gotta look through his purchase history on wish.com.
yeah, Wish.com.
It's probably where a lot of them come from. That's where my
there's-
regrets usually
There's
were.
a few things I've bought, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this will be great for XYZ," and it's like it just wasn't. I mean, I can't think of. I got to think of it. Think about it for a little bit. But there's been a couple times I've done that. How about
That's
you?
why I like now I just sit on those ideas for a while. It's like park it in the wish list for a while because if I buy it straight off of initial gut feel, more times than not now I regret it. But if I sit
Yeah.
on it and go, let's revisit that in a week or a month, come back later, sober
Well,
Chuck.
remember when cell phones really started after the iPhone and cell phones started to become, you know, more prevalent around. There were some cool ones. You go, oh, that'd be awesome. And I remember getting one going, it's not. Yeah. The battery sucked. The camera sucked. It looked cool, but that's about it. Yeah.
Yep. Had a few of those.
Hmm.
All righty. So we're going to ask you that again on social media and hopefully we'll have answers
Oh.
for you.
I do have an answer for you.
Okay.
I bought Logitech had this credit card, not I say credit card size in the actual size it was, not the thickness, uh camera. And I thought, oh, this would be great to carry around and have a camera on me everywhere. I can just take quick pictures. Well, now you can do that with your phone,
Mhm.
but the camera, it just took crappy pictures. It was not
Well, how
good
how
at
good
all.
of a lens can you have on something the size of a credit card?
Well, I wanted just decent pictures. I didn't expect to get like I got my zoom lens out. I'm gonna take a picture. Um, I just remember thinking, oh, it'd be cool. I could snap pictures everywhere. And then now we got phones that take, DSLR quality pictures, but that was one I remember I think it spent like $100 on it and it was just okay. So
Yep. I'm gonna have to look because I got a lot of stuff around here that I have used that is no longer in use. I gotta dig through all of that.
right.
You just sent that message today. Says, "Hey, Pebble OS may be coming back." Like, do I really need to revive my Pebble Watch? Do I even have
No,
a Pebble Watch? Do I have the charger for the Pebble Watch? What would I do? And no, I wouldn't put it back on. But um,
it,
it's among those things that have been deprecated and probably should have been recycled in the last hauled to the e-cycle.
I could not find in my heart to get rid of it, so I got it in a little drawer, like a little thing.
I get it.
I loved the Pebble watch, and even after there's a project called Rebel, and it's open source, and they've been working to provide services for the old Pebble watches, so you can still use it. And I did install the Rebel firmware on there, and it worked. It worked pretty good. But I think I'm trying to remember if the store was not available, but some people have archived all the apps that were on the Pebble thing before, so they're there, they're around. You can sideload them, I think. So Google had just open sourced the Pebble software, which is great, and it may be fun to screw around with it at some point. But my Wear OS watch is so more advanced.
Yes.
I can send a text with it real easy. I can set timers and all that stuff. Even a flashlight. I use it as a flashlight sometimes. So
I just tip up my wrist, and that green thing that measures your pulse lights up the whole room.
oh yeah, hold on. My phone's talking to me. Yeah. Well, I put mine in sleep mode at night. You don't do that?
Okay.
You don't wear it at night.
Order me a pizza.
Yeah. So anyway, I love that old Pebble watch. It's great.
Alrighty, that takes care of it. Oh, wait. No, okay, never mind. That was for the next show. That takes care of it for this week. Whew, had a little panic attack. Like, did we miss something again?
Yeah.
Nope. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your answers to the question of the week. We want to hear your comments on this show. You can call us on the listener line, 707-530-2428, or email us, technorama@chuckchat.com. We just got Craig's mail fixed. He wasn't getting his half of that.
I know, right?
Yet. That DL was confusing him, or confusing his mail. But now we got that sorted out. You can send us both a message at the same time, technorama@chuckchat.com. We'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, you can find us on social media or wherever. Just search for Technorama Podcast. Don't forget, we got that Patreon account too. Till next time, tell a friend about Technorama, and Craig's going to give us a binary high five in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
101.
There it is. The audio recording of the regular show is done. We're going to turn off the live stream and go record the Patreon show. So thank you for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching later. If you're watching later or listening later, whatever you're doing, hope your 2025 is off to a great start, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Bye.